The colony of New Terra was a small human settlement on the edge of known space. It sat quietly on a green world full of strange plants, twin moons, and pink sunsets. Most of the humans who lived there were farmers, builders, and explorers. Among them was a boy named Liam, 10 years old, curious, and full of wild dreams. Liam had never left the planet, but he often stared at the sky at night, wondering what kinds of life were out there among the stars. His parents were simple people. His father worked in the solar fields, and his mother taught at the local school. They often told him one day Earth and its people will meet great civilizations. Always be kind, and always keep your word. One summer evening, everything changed. That was the night of the Galactic Exchange Festival, a new event where alien visitors and humans gathered in peace. It was the first time a ship from the Zyran Empire came to New Terra. The Zyrines were tall, elegant beings with skin that shimmered like polished silver. Their eyes were violet, and their voices were soft like music. People on New Terra had only read about them in news reports. No one had ever seen them in person. When the Zyran delegation arrived, all the humans gathered to watch. Liam stood near the front of the crowd, his eyes wide with wonder, and then he saw her. She stood just a few feet from him. She wore a long blue robe that sparkled under the moonlight. A glowing crown floated just above her head. Her hair was white and flowed like silk, though she looked about his age 10, maybe 11. She had a curious look in her violet eyes, like she had never seen a boy before. Their eyes met. The alien girl stepped forward. People gasped, unsure if it was safe. But she smiled and pointed at Liam. "You," she said in perfect English. "What is your name?" Liam blinked. Liam. I'm Liam. I am Princess Zyra of the Zyran Star Empire." She bowed slightly, then held out a glowing crystal. "You saved me from boredom. I was told human boys are interesting." Nervously took the crystal. "Thanks," Zyra giggled. "You will marry me when we grow up." Liam nearly dropped the crystal. "Wait, what?" She tilted her head. "You are kind. Your thoughts are honest. I like that." "I don't care what my advisors say. I choose you." People nearby began whispering. Liam's face turned red. "That's not how it works," he mumbled. "Then how does it work?" she asked seriously. Liam scratched his head. "Well, I guess you become friends first. Spend time together and make promises." Zyra's eyes lit up. "And promise me."
Promise to marry me.
"If you say yes, I will return when we are grown." Liam stared at her, confused. Was this real? Was this a joke? But something about her felt true, like she meant it with all her heart. And in his heart, Liam didn't want to say no. He saw something in Zyra's eyes. Loneliness, maybe. Or hope. "Okay," he said softly. "I promise." Zyra smiled, the kind of smile that made the stars look dull. "Then it is done," she said. They spent the rest of the night together. Liam showed her the food stalls, introduced her to his robot dog, and taught her how to throw a boomerang. She showed him a floating game from her world, told him stories of space whales and diamond comets, and let him touch a glowing orb that read thoughts. They laughed, played, and talked as if they had known each other for years. But like all things, the night came to an end. The next morning, the Zyran ship left. Zyra waved at Liam through a glowing window. "I will return," she said, "when we are ready." Liam waved back, feeling a strange tightness in his chest, and then she was gone. Years passed. The festival became a local legend. Most adults thought the marriage promise was just a joke between kids. Even Liam, as he grew older, began to think. Maybe he imagined it. Maybe it was just a dream. But he never forgot her. Liam grew up to be a quiet, intelligent man. He became an engineer working with the Human Diplomatic Corps, building communication systems for alien contact. He worked on satellites, translation software, and even helped design the first cross-species meeting rooms. He never married. When people asked, he just smiled and said, "I'm waiting for someone." He still had the crystal Zyra gave him. It sat on his desk, glowing faintly. No one could understand its purpose. But Liam kept it as a reminder of the promise he made under the twin moons. On his 27th birthday, everything changed again. He was working late in the tech lab when an alarm blared. A massive ship had entered orbit larger than any human ship ever seen. Shaped like a silver crescent, glowing with soft blue lights. It hovered silently above New Terra. The colony held its breath, and then the message came through. We come in peace. We are here for Liam. Liam's coffee cup slipped from his hand and shattered on the floor. When the shuttle landed, it opened like a blooming flower. Out stepped guards in elegant armor, followed by a tall woman with flowing white hair, violet eyes, and a familiar smile. "Hello, Liam," Zira said. His heart stopped. "You're real?" Zira stepped closer. "I told you I'd come back." "Waited all these years?" "I never broke the promise," she said. "Neither did you." She took out a second crystal, identical to the one he still kept. A hush fell over the humans nearby. No one knew what to say. Liam laughed softly, a mix of joy and shock. You're really serious about this marriage thing?" Nodded. "I am now Empress of the Zyran Empire. I've refused every suitor. My council begged me to find a match from the royal houses. But I chose you, Liam of Earth. A promise is a sacred thing in my culture. You were the first being who treated me like a person, not a symbol. I've waited long enough." Liam looked into her eyes, the same as when they were children, and realized she still had that hope, that spark, that trust in him. He took a step forward. "Well," he said with a half-smile, "it'd be rude to break a promise." The people of New Terra gathered in silence as the Zyran Empress stood before them. Her silver gown shimmered in the sunlight. Her tall guards stood at her sides, their armor glowing with soft blue light. But Zyra's eyes were only on Liam. Now a grown man stood still. His heart beat fast. He had not seen Zira in 17 years. She had been a strange and curious girl back then. Now she looked like a queen from the stars, and she had come. For him, he could hear people whispering. "Is that the alien girl from the old story? She really came back? Are they serious about marriage?" Liam took a deep breath. "You really didn't forget." Zyra smiled gently. "How could I forget the only person who ever treated me like an equal?" The Earth officials quickly gathered around. Governor Malkin, a tall man with gray hair, stepped forward. "Empress Zira," he said with a bow, "we welcome you." "May I ask, are you truly here to claim marriage with Mr. Liam Cole?" Zyra nodded. "Yes, I am here to honor a promise made many rotations ago. My empire stands behind this." Liam looked at the stunned faces around him. No one had expected this. Not even him. "I think I need a walk," he whispered. Zira gently touched his arm. "May I join you?" He nodded. They walked through the colony gardens, just like they did long ago. The sky was still blue. The wind still carried the scent of flowers. But everything had changed. "I'm just an engineer," Liam said softly. "I'm not royalty. I don't even have a big house." "I don't need a king," Zyra replied. "I need someone I trust, someone who speaks the truth." He looked at her. "Are you sure? We were just kids when we made that promise." "I was raised in a palace where people wore masks every day."
Ow.
"But you were real. That promise is the one pure thing I've ever had." Liam didn't know what to say. His heart was torn between fear and wonder. "I have a life here, Zira. A job. Friends. This world, then, I won't take you from it," she said. "But come with me. Visit my world. Learn about my people. Can decide together." He blinked. "You want me to just leave with you, just for a time? No chains, no force, only choice." Liam stared at the sky. A ship that large would take him farther than he'd ever dreamed. Part of him was scared, but another part whispered, "Go. This is what you were born for." He turned to her. "Okay, I'll come." The next day, Liam said goodbye to his home. People shook his hand, some with wide eyes, some with warm hearts. Children looked up at him like he was a hero in a storybook. he didn't feel like one. Zyra's shuttle rose. From the earth with a soft hum, inside, the walls were silver and soft to the touch. It didn't feel like a machine, it felt alive. Liam sat across from Zyra, still trying to believe this was real. "Why me?" he asked again. "Not someone. Stronger? Smarter? More royal?" Zyra looked into his eyes. "'Cause you kept your promise." The journey to the Zyran Empire took 3 days in quantum warp. Liam barely understood the technology, but he was amazed by the site's colorful space storms, sleeping gas giants, and glowing space stations shaped like giant flowers. Zyra showed him everything. She gave him a room that changed shape with his thoughts. She introduced him to her crowfissers, translators, scholars, even a giant alien, beasts that served as the ship's guide. Everyone bowed to Zyra, but they also looked at Liam with curiosity, some with suspicion. "You will be tested," Zyra warned one evening. "My people value honor and strength. Many of them won't understand my choice right away." Liam nodded. "Not here to impress anyone, just here to keep a promise." Smiled. "That's exactly why you will succeed." On the 4th day, the ship arrived at the Zyran homeworld HFY. Liam gasped as he saw it through the window. The planet was covered in glowing oceans, floating islands, and silver towers that reached the clouds. The sky was violet, and strange birds flew in groups like dancers in the wind. The city they landed in was made of crystal and light. Millions watched from below as Zyra and Liam stepped out of the ship. Music played. Drones recorded everything. Zyra took his hand. "Don't be afraid," she said. "I'm not afraid." Liam lied. The palace was like nothing he had ever imagined. Walls shimmered like water. Lights floated in the air. Robotic trees whispered wisdom. Liam was taken to a special chamber where a group of high advisors waited. Each one looked at him sharply. "This is the human," one asked. "Yes," Zyra said firmly. "This is Liam of Earth. It's untrained, unblooded, unproven," said another. "He has no royal line," said a third. Zyra stood tall. "But he has my trust." The oldest advisor leaned forward. His skin was gold, and his eyes glowed like fire. "Then let him prove himself." Liam swallowed. "How?" "You will face the 3 trials," the elder said. "Test of strength, test of wisdom, test of truth. Only then will the people accept you as her chosen." Liam looked at Zyra. "You knew this was coming." Nodded. "Yes, but I believe in you." Liam looked back at the council. "Then I accept your challenge." The next morning, the first trial began. Liam was taken to a large chamber filled with shifting platforms and gravity fields. A giant training bot stood in the center, armed with non-lethal weapons. The goal reached the top of the tower without falling or giving up. Liam took a breath. The bot charged. He ran, dodging lasers, climbing moving walls, solving small puzzles. Along the way, he fell twice, bruised his arm, but kept going. He remembered his training on Earth, his years working with machines, stubborn heart, and finally he reached the top. The watchers clapped, some even cheered. The second trial tested his mind. He was placed in a room full of holographic illusions. 8 won a trap, or a test. He had to find the real door out. He didn't rush, he observed. He used logic, memory, and instincts. He remembered something Zyra once said as a child. Truth leaves a warmth behind. He followed that warmth. After an hour, he stepped out calm. And smiling, the council whispered in surprise. The third trial, simple and cruel. A being called the Voice of Truth appeared. It could read thoughts. It would ask him one question, and he could not lie. "If you had never made the promise to the Empress," the being asked, "would you have come to our world?" Liam paused, then said honestly, "No." Sank but Liam continued. "I didn't come here for glory or power. I came because I promised her something, and I meant it now. I want to stay because I believe in her." The Voice of Truth nodded. "He speaks true." The chamber fell silent. Then, one by one, the council members stood and bowed. Zyra's eyes filled with light. Later that night, Zyra and Liam stood on a balcony overlooking the city. "You did it," she said. I'm still just me, he said, with a grin. And that's more than enough, she whispered, far below. People lit lanterns in the sky, each one a symbol of peace and new beginnings. Liam reached out and took her hand. For the first time, he said, "This feels real." Zira smiled. It's just the beginning. The morning sun touched the glass walls of the Zyran palace. Liam awoke feeling a strange mix of excitement and nervousness. Today, his true journey would begin. He had passed the initial tests, but the real challenges the trials meant to prove. His worthiness as Zyra's partner and future leader alongside her were about to start. Zyra met him in the grand hall, her violet eyes shining like stars. "Are you ready?" she asked softly. Liam nodded, as ready as I'll ever be. She smiled and led him through the palace corridors, their footsteps echoing softly on the crystal floors. The first trial, strength and courage the first trial, tested the body, not just muscles, but courage and heart. Liam found himself in a vast arena surrounded by towering walls. The air was thick with anticipation. The crowd of Zyran citizens watched from the stands, their expressions mixed curious, doubtful, and hopeful. Zyra stood by the entrance, giving him a small nod. The trial was simple to explain, but difficult to survive. Liam would face the guardians of the Crystal Maze, massive robotic creatures programmed to test strength and willpower. He had to reach the center of the maze and retrieve the emblem of unity. The maze walls glittered with light, twisting and turning like a living thing. As soon as Liam stepped inside, the doors closed behind him. The first guardian, a towering machine covered with sharp metal plates, charged toward him. Liam ducked, rolled, and ran. His training as an engineer gave him an edge. He understood how machines worked. He knew where their weak points might be. He dodged a metal fist, smashing the ground nearby, and threw a sharp piece of broken crystal he had found into the guardians. Glowing, I censored, the robot froze for a moment. Liam used the chance to sprint deeper into the maze, but the maze itself was a challenge. The walls shifted, and the path disappeared underfoot. Liam had to stay calm, trusting his instincts. Suddenly, a trapdoor opened beneath him. He fell into a pit filled with strange, glowing plants. They weren't dangerous, but their bright light made it hard to see the next step. He crawled out and kept going, near the center of the maze. Another guardian appeared, this one faster and smarter, like a hunter. It attacked with sharp claws and electric shocks. Liam used his environment. He grabbed a hanging crystal and smashed it against the guardian's leg. Sparks flew, and the machine staggered. With a burst of strength, Liam climbed on its back and pried open a panel. Inside, he found glowing circuits and wires. He ripped one out, and the guardian collapsed in a heap. Finally, Liam reached the center and saw the emblem of Unity, a shining orb that pulsed with soft light. He grabbed it and ran to the exit. The doors opened as the crowd erupted into cheers. Zyra rushed to him, wrapping her arms around him. "You did it." Liam smiled, breathless but proud. The second trial, wisdom and understanding the next trial, tested Liam's mind. He was brought to a grand library, thousands of scrolls and holograms floating in midair. A wise-looking alien named Vashar explained, "The task. You must solve the riddle of ages. It is a puzzle only those who understand the heart of two worlds can solve." Liam listened carefully. The riddle was complicated, mixing Zyran history with human stories. At first, he was confused. He felt the weight of centuries of culture on his shoulders. But he remembered what Zyra said long ago. Truth leaves a warmth behind. He began to look for patterns, focusing on feelings, not just facts. Hours passed. Liam carefully connected stories of both worlds, how humans and Zyrines valued courage, kindness, and promises. Finally, he whispered the answer. Vashar smiled. "You have shown wisdom beyond your years." The crowd applauded quietly. Some looked at Liam with newfound respect. The third trial, truth and honor thee. Last trial was the hardest. Liam was brought to a quiet chamber lit by soft blue lights. There, the voice of truth awaited, mysterious being who could see into the soul. The voice asked questions that could not be lied to. Why did you promise to marry the princess? Liam took a deep breath. I was a child. But I promised because I believed in kindness and trust. The voice nodded. Are you ready to give up your life on Earth to join the Zyran Empire? Liam looked down, then back up. I don't know. Yet, but I will keep my promise with honor. The voice's eyes glowed brighter. Do you love Zyra? Liam's heart thundered. I have learned to love her for who she is, not just a princess. Silence filled the room. Then the voice said, You speak truth. You're worthy. Outside, Zyra waited anxiously. When Liam emerged, she ran to him, her eyes sparkling. You passed, she said. You proved your strength, wisdom, and truth. Liam smiled. Thanks to you. The council of elders gathered. We accept him. The oldest elder said, You have shown that a human can be more than a promise. You can be a bridge between two worlds. Liam felt a wave of relief and pride. He looked at Zyra. This is just the beginning, he said. She nodded. Together, we will face whatever comes. That night, under a violet sky, Liam and Zyra stood hand in hand. Lanterns floated above the city, shining like stars. Liam whispered, I kept my promise. Zyra smiled, and I never stopped believing. The future was uncertain, but they were ready. Together. The days after the trials were full of excitement and change. Liam had passed every test, and the people of Zirian were beginning to accept him. But the path ahead was not easy. To truly unite their worlds, Liam and Zyra had to face new challenges. That came from politics, culture, and even fear. A meeting of worlds. Liam stood in the great hall of the palace, surrounded by important leaders from both Earth and the Zyran Empire. The room was large, with tall crystal windows showing the glowing violet sky. The leaders spoke many languages, and translators hummed softly in the background. Zyra sat beside Liam, her hand resting gently on his arm. She looked calm, but focused. The room buzzed with tension. On one side were human diplomats, dressed in simple but neat uniforms. They looked nervous but determined. On the other side were Zyran nobles, wearing shining robes and jewelry that glittered, like stars. Some looked curious, others suspicious. Governor Malkin from New Terra cleared his throat. We are honored to meet you all. But this union between a human and a Zyran princess is new to us, one noblewoman spoke up. Our traditions are old and strict. The Emperor's line must be kept pure. Liam took a deep breath. Traditions are important, he said, but so is change. If we are to build peace between our worlds, we must trust each other. That means accepting differences. Zyra nodded. I choose Liam because he represents that trust, not because of blood or power, but because of heart. The diplomats whispered among themselves. A young human woman, named Maya, leaned toward Liam. Are you sure about this? You're risking a lot. Liam smiled. Some risks are worth taking. The Festival of Unity, to help the two worlds understand each other. Zyra planned a Festival of Unity, a celebration where humans and Zirians could share their cultures. Foods, music, and stories. Liam helped organize the event. He was amazed by the preparations, giant floating lanterns, shimmering fabrics, and machines that created holographic gardens. The festival was held in the palace's grand courtyard, open to thousands. Humans tried alien foods, soft glowing fruits that tasted sweet and strange. Zyrines danced to human music, awkward but laughing. Liam stood near Zyra as they watched children from both worlds play together. Their laughter filled the air. This is good, Zyra said. This is hope. But not everyone shared their joy. Shadows of doubt behind the scenes. Some leaders whispered their doubts. A powerful Zyran noble named Lord Varric saw Liam as a threat. We cannot allow a human to rule beside the Empress, Varric said to his allies. This will weaken our empire. On Earth, some humans feared that Zyra's influence would change their way of life too much. A senator spoke on a broadcast. We must be cautious. Alien alliances are dangerous. What if this marriage is a trap? Liam heard the words and felt the weight of both worlds pressing on him. Testing loyalties won. Evening, as Liam walked through the palace gardens, Lord Varric approached him. You survived the trials, Varric said coldly. But this is a different game. Liam met his gaze. What do you want? Loyalty. Prove you belong here. Liam smiled. I belong wherever I keep my promise. Varric narrowed his eyes. You will face more tests, not from the council, but from those who fear change. Secret mission days later, Zyra received troubling news. A remote Zyran outpost near Earth's space was attacked by unknown forces. The outpost was vital for peace and trade. Zyra turned to Liam. I need you to lead a team to investigate. Liam hesitated. I'm not a soldier. You're more than that. You're the bridge between us. Only you can bring understanding. Liam? Agreed. Into the unknown, Liam's team boarded a sleek spaceship and jumped into space. The journey was tense. They didn't know what dangers awaited. When they arrived, the outpost was dark and damaged. Signs of battle everywhere. Liam and his team carefully explored. Suddenly, they found evidence of sabotage. Someone inside the Empire wanted to destroy peace. Facing dangers, they gathered clues. Liam's team was ambushed by masked attackers. A fierce fight followed. Liam's quick thinking and calm kept everyone safe. After the fight, they captured a prisoner, a spy from within the Zyran Empire. The spy confessed that Lord Varric planned to overthrow Zyra and end the alliance with Earth. Returning as heroes, Liam and his team rushed back to the palace with the evidence. The council was shocked, but grateful. Zyra looked at Liam with pride. You saved us, she said, but the battle for peace was far from over. The power of promise that night. Liam and Zyra stood together in the palace balcony. The stars shone bright above Zirian. We have many challenges ahead, Liam said. Zyra smiled. But we face them together. Liam held her hand tightly. I promise to marry you, and I will keep that promise, no matter what. Zyra's eyes glistened with hope. Then nothing can stop us. The tension in the palace was thick like a heavy fog. After the spy's confession and the failed sabotage, the people of Zirian waited anxiously to see what would happen next. The future of two worlds, Earth and Zirian, hung in the balance. Liam stood beside Zyra in the grand hall, feeling both the weight and the hope of their promise. It was more than a promise between two people now. It was a promise for peace and unity. The council's decision. The council gathered once again. The elders wore solemn faces as they discussed Lord Varric's betrayal. Some wanted to punish him severely, others feared more chaos. Zyra rose to speak, her voice calm but strong. We must show that peace is stronger than fear. I will give Lord Varric a chance to speak in his defense. But if he is found guilty, he will face justice. Liam watched as the room fell silent. The accused was brought forward, his eyes burning with anger and defiance. Your Grace, he said, this alliance will destroy our empire. Humans and Zyrines are too different. It is better to rule alone than fall with weakness. Zyra shook her head. Unity is strength. You chose the wrong side, the council voted. The decision was clear. Lord Varric was stripped of his power and sent to a remote prison planet. Time for celebration with the threat removed. The people of Zirian and Earth could finally breathe easier. Zyra declared a new holiday, the day of promise, to honor the bond between their worlds. The palace filled with music, laughter, and glowing lights. Liam and Zyra walked hand in hand among the crowd. They smiled at the children playing together, the elders sharing stories, and the soldiers standing tall. Liam realized that the little boy who made a promise years ago had become part of something greater than himself. The marriage ceremony. Day of the wedding arrived. The ceremony was unlike any Liam had ever seen. The palace garden was decorated with thousands of floating lanterns and shimmering flowers from both worlds. The sky was violet, the air filled with sweet scents. Zyra wore a gown that glowed softly, made from threads of light. Liam wore a simple but elegant suit, the symbol of Earth's unity. They stood before the council, the citizens, and the stars. The ceremony was filled with ancient words and new hopes. When the final vow was spoken, "Keep my promise." The sky above burst into color as fireworks danced in the air, a promise fulfilled after the ceremony. Liam and Zyra stood together on the balcony. The city below sparkled like 1,000 stars. "I never thought this would be real," Liam said softly. "Neither did I," Zyra replied. "But promises have power, especially when kept." Liam took her hand. "We face many challenges still," she smiled. "Together, we will overcome them." A new beginning over the following months. Liam worked closely with Zyra to strengthen the alliance between their worlds. New trade routes opened. Scientists shared knowledge. Artists from Earth and Zirion created beautiful works together. Liam learned about Zirion technology and culture. Zyra visited Earth to see Liam's home world. Their bond grew stronger, built on respect and love. Facing the future one evening, as the twin moons rose over Zirion, Liam and Zyra stood watching the stars. "Do you think the people will accept us?" Liam asked. Zyra nodded. "Change is never easy, but with time, they will see that love and promise can build bridges." Liam smiled. "Then let's build those bridges together." The promise lives on years later. Stories of the human who kept his promise to the alien princess inspired children on both worlds. Liam and Zyra's love became a symbol of hope, and whenever anyone doubted the power of a promise, they only had to look to the stars and remember that once, a little boy's simple promise changed a world's forever.